Hi, you're listening to a student-focused episode of the Sociology Show podcast. If you're studying the subject at GCSE, A-level, foundation, degree, or any other discipline, then this podcast could be of help to you. If you have a question for the show, then you can email the Sociology Show podcast at gmail.com, and one of the teachers, lecturers, examiners, or experts will answer your question for you. You can sponsor the show on the GoFundMe page and subscribe on all the usual podcast platforms. If you're going to class, going to the gym, or just chilling, put your headphones in and let's be sociology geeks together, eh? Hello and welcome to the Sociology Show. The Sociology Show podcast is brought to you in association with Tutor2You Sociology, the exam performance specialist for A-level and GCSE sociology students and teachers. And so you can visit their website, which is tutor2you.net/sociology. And there you can pick up revision guides, flashcards, revision videos, and everything else that you need for your A-level or GCSE sociology studies. And so this episode is the first edition of the Student Takeover. And this entry is from Adrianna Nawrocka from Hammersmith Academy. Adrianna, I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. And so as soon as I put out the message to say that I wanted some student work, Adrianna posted hers within about 2 days. So absolutely fantastic, really keen. And I was delighted to receive it on such an interesting topic. So I'm going to start by reading out the email that Adrianna sent me. She says, "Hi, my name is Adrianna. I'm a Year 12 student studying sociology and would like to submit a piece for the Student Takeover Thursday special. Firstly, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone involved in running the podcast." She says that she started to listen to the show in the summer holiday as she made the transition from Year 11 to Year 12, and she'd had no experience in the study of sociology whatsoever, and she did not have the opportunity to study it at GCSE at her own school as they did not offer the course. She says that this show has introduced her to loads of really important things and some issues that perhaps she hadn't previously considered. And so her entry that she's submitted is about consumerism and purchasing behaviours. Her submission discusses consumer culture in the 21st century and what challenges and opportunities it presents. She talks about how media socialises this form of culture and why that is. She says that she hopes people enjoy listening to her submission, and she says it would be an honour to be on the Sociology Show podcast. So I'm really delighted to hear that, Adrianna. And she says, "I hope the sound quality is okay." Yeah, it's pretty good, Adrianna. No problems there. And I really enjoyed listening to this one myself as well. And so she's entitled her podcast, "Production and Consumption Can Cause Destruction." Really good title that as well. So big shout out, big thank you to Adrianna for being the first person to do the Student Takeover. If you would like your work to be included, if you've got something that you'd like to discuss, please do send it to the Sociology Show podcast at gmail.com, and it can be on any topic. You can be GCSE, you can be A-level, you can be first year of degree, you can be doing your PhD, anything that you want to. If you want to showcase your work and have your work on the Sociology Show podcast, then do exactly as Adrianna has done. Send it over to the Sociology Show podcast at gmail.com. But in the meantime, let's listen to the first Student Takeover entry, "Production and Consumption Can Cause Destruction," with Adrianna Nawrocka from Hammersmith Academy.
Production and consumption can lead to destruction. The problem with consumer culture in the 21st century. Having been interested in sustainable fashion for a while now, after having researched the topic extensively, I found that the industry suppresses its dark side from Western societies who make up most of their consumer market by showcasing systematic, round-the-clock collections promoting the trendiest must-haves and offering unmissable deals. Despite attempts from the industry having long put in the effort to conceal the irreversible environmental damage and persisting violations of human rights across the supply chain, the information uncovering the unethical practices and operations is accessible to the public through the means and access to digital platforms, the internet, and social media. Despite many today being aware of the fact that the fast fashion industry has proven time and time again to cross the line, most continue to carry out their regular shops at massive retailers such as Primark, H&M, and Zara, just to name a few. It begs the question, why would we continue to contribute to such a harmful cycle of production, consumption, and ultimate environmental and social destruction? Having conducted a fair amount of research in my free time, I would claim to be well aware of the consequences that fast fashion presents, yet it still proves at times, especially at the beginning of my sustainable fashion journey, to resist the convenient and gratifying nature of heading to the high street and hitting the jackpot with a sweet deal and the purchase of that new item of clothing that has been flooding social media pages for days and weeks. Consumerism is a concept that encompasses the phenomenon in which the construction of identity and reinforcement of well-being is carried out through, in particular, the acquisition and purchase of non-essential material goods. The rapid advancement in technology and an ever-growing connected world driven by the rapid process of globalization is driving consumer culture to an unprecedented extent. It's becoming more evident that an increasing number of societies are embracing consumerism, and its members are devoting much of their times, lives, and efforts in order to be able to carry out the practice of unrestricted consumption. This approach to life requires mass production to take place to meet the ever-growing demands of goods. This demand proves to be unsustainable both in terms of human production, as large corporations unethically employ cheap labor abroad, requiring long hours for little pay and little to no security at all, as well as environmentally, with the fashion industry coming second in terms of being the most polluting industry, oil, unsurprisingly, coming in first place. The reason behind the continuation of engaging in consumerism is deeply rooted in Western societies, as media continues to prove itself a dominating agency of socialization. The rise of media, especially in most recent evolutions of digital platforms such as social media, advanced societies privileged enough to possess such technologies have its members bombarded with sneaky ads and personalized content to incentivize the consumers to consume products that they would otherwise have no intention of ever even purchasing in the first place. The growth of capitalism is based on supply and demand. The media, as discussed, is an agency accelerating artificial demand to generate wealth for the economy. The persistent abuse of power by big businesses, who to a great degree greatly influence what people buy and consume, has ultimately trapped consumer culture-dominated societies into the belief that without material goods, there's no other way to express one's identity, and no mean to state for what we stand for. For instance, think about it this way. You got a shirt depicting the image of someone or something you are very passionate about. You meet someone else who too shares that passion. The signal you send out to the world through the possession of that material good projects your beliefs, your passions, and what your interests are. And in this scenario, just the possession of that shirt can help you connect with other like-minded individuals. The term retail therapy also presents the idea that consumption is closely tied to comfort and the attempts to control aspects of life. A trip to the high street or a shopping centre with friends can help combat, at least for a moment, the stresses and hardships of real life, as it offers a sense of purpose and opportunity, to feel a sense of achievement. The ability to purchase a non-essential item is also an indication that life is going well. There's no threat of not being able to pay the bills and not being able to cover costs of essentials such as basic food staples when you are able to buy those flare jeans everyone has been hyping up, with money spare for a milkshake to get with your friends. This offers a sense of security and therefore comfort, as well as stability. The ability to connect with others through projecting one's identity with relative ease, and the pleasant associations with the mere ability to consume, is the very thing that continues this unsustainable cycle of unethical production and consumption. The pandemic has slowed down this rapidly spiraling cycle down, but only for a moment. It allowed individuals to reflect on their consumption habits and the need to cut back on spending. For many families in the time of financial hardships has significantly resulted in a decline in consuming non-essentials. This suppression, however, of a form of culture that is deeply ingrained in us since birth for many young people, may mean that when things slowly start to return to normal with the easing of restrictions, will bring about a comeback of a consumer-based society, harder than ever before, as the economy, supported by the current government, will do all it can to restore its health and ensure demand skyrockets above and beyond what it once was. To conclude, I recommend that we all reflect, and next time when we make any type of purchase, Consider these kind of questions. Why am I buying this? What will be its purpose once I have bought it? Will it last? And what effect does me having this product have in the bigger picture? Thank you for listening.
The Sociology Show podcast relies on the kind contributions of sponsorship and donations. If you enjoy the show, then you can help with the hosting costs by donating as little as £5 on the GoFundMe page. Simply visit uk.gofundme.com and search for The Sociology Show. If you can donate, then you will be sent a Sociology Show pen as a small thank you for your continued support of the show.